Hello and welcome to Cabin Fever Radio. Where an isolated group of talented actors and creators come together to stave off their madness and yours and keep us all entertained through dramatic readings of your favorite movies and TV shows along with original material. But today we do have a very special and unique show that will be more of a one-on-one with the writer and director of Vengeance Turns, as well as the cinematographer and editor of Vengeance Turns, which is myself,
That's
and
exciting.
Bobby Smith, also known as Roberto Christopher Smitho.
That's right.
Give her take a couple vowels, right?
That's right. And trilling R's, because I like them, but man, mom and dad didn't give me. I had to add those later. Roberto Cristobal.
So what are we going to be doing? We're going to be chatting with you guys. So feel free to join the chat rooms and ask us questions, message us, do what you wish. Send us questions to ask. Send us questions to, yes. You send us the questions, and then we ask the other person said question that you sent out.
Or we'll ask you. You can send us questions, and we'll ask you guys the question.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
We're not picky.
Hello, chat. How are you doing? That is my question to you. How are you doing?
Come into the chat.
Come into the chat. Join the conversation. And so we're going to be pretty much talking about Vengeance Turns, because we are weeks away.
We're
days away. Months, no longer months away. But we're making Vengeance Turns, and we want to share some of the ideas, some of the visuals that we have in mind, including how we're going to shoot it. Being an indie feature, we want to share with our community and our friends, filmmakers and actors, on how movies are made. You know, a little bit of the behind the scenes aspect of it, from the first day of production, including writing a Western and we'll dive into like a little bit maybe on script writing and stuff like that. But talking about Vengeance Turns, we're going to be filming a full-length feature film about 130 pages in the script in about 2 days. No, just kidding. It's not 2 days. But it will be in a short amount of time compared to how movies used to be made, where you would take 6 months or so to film a full feature. That being said, again, hello, I am Mr. David Ronald, and we have Roberto Christopher Smith.
I'll be right with you guys. I'm taking care of some last minute business as David gets everything kicked off.
Yes. So, and again, this is the whole thing. Most of the time, we don't sleep, and frankly, it's because, again, there's a lot of things that are happening in the background, from moving parts to just getting schedules ready, getting contracts ready, getting shot lists ready, and things like that. So we just want to share with you guys some of the experiences that we've had throughout our filming careers, as well as what we're going to do with Vengeance Turns. Because again, as you guys know, Vengeance Turns is a very unique story. And if I find the right the right ad read that we had, it tells. Oh, here it is. So yeah. So just again to reiterate, the log line, how you can encompass the whole movie into a couple of words would be: this will be taking place in 1876 California, where a young woman loses everything, including her beloved husband, son, and daughter, in a violent attack that leaves her for dead, and with the lust for bloody vengeance that turns her into a murderous vigilante. So we will be taking a view on how this young woman, who loses all her family to an attack, and how she recovers and looks for vengeance as well as resolution in a way. And so we're going to have our main actress, which is Paula Luelmo, playing Rebecca, as well as Mia, she starts out as Rebecca because that's before the attack, and then once they get attacked and she is left for dead, she kind of loses a little bit of a brain functions as far as she can't remember who she was, so she has to start over and becomes Mia. And as Mia, she finds the will to search for all these bad guys who have hurt her and her family in search of revenge and
Bad guys. What kind of
vengeance.
bad guys?
The bad ones, right?
That's right.
Is there any other type of bad? There's no good bad guys, unless you're Deadpool. That's a whole different story. Um, but yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of mouth
Vamping.
talking while Bobby finishes emails and whatnots. But again, so we're gonna dive into a couple other backstories, but that's pretty much the whole premise of the film. It's like it's the story of Rebecca that turns into Mia,
Uh,
looking for vengeance that
so
turns.
I think I'm caught up now. And so, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, let me look behind us here.
Vengeance turns.
Like 3.5 years now, David and I have been staring at that image. That was the very first kind of what we call the icon that David came up with. And that picture was of the co-writer of the movie, Amanda Fry, who started as the main actor of the movie, playing the role of Rebecca and Mia Falcone, and then helped me to write the screenplay based on a story that I had ready. But that picture is just a picture that Amanda had taken when she was auditioning, and me and David liked it, and we just have been basically using that everywhere ever since. And one of the really, really exciting things is we really both love Paula Luelmo, who is the current actor for Vengeance Turns, to play Rebecca and Mia. And just seems like that some things, we like the word serendipity sometimes when we're talking about this movie. And it's like Paula is a perfect example of this because of the fact that, well, Amanda helped me write it and was the original intended first actor to play the role. It just seems like no one else could have played it except for Paula. It just seemed like the weird fate, destiny, serendipitous moments brought us to the moment where we would all end up connecting and getting to make this movie with Paula. And so now all I can think about lately is getting with, now that we got the wardrobe and everything so close to principal photography, is getting that new icon, the next batch of shirts that go out like this, but with her picture on there and the new wardrobe and stuff, instead of just a random picture that our actor took when they were auditioning. It's crazy that that picture's made it as far as it has. But it's interesting because when you're making a feature movie, people know this too, especially a lot of the people from where we're from. David and I, if you don't know, are dialing in on this Zoom meeting from Los Angeles, California. So hello to everybody, wherever you are out there. And we are in the movie business and have been in or around the movie business for several years now. This is bugging me. There we go. But we've seen, whether it's indie movies like we're doing right now, micro sub micro budget indie movies like we're doing right now, or even big stuff, even like big feature movies and stuff that are fully funded, literally actually fully funded with actual cash instead of bullshit, that they face problems and stuff where they end up needing additional funding while they're being made, while the movie is being made. Certain deals fall through, new deals come in, and literally sometimes movies are being financed and things like that entirely through the whole shooting, and sometimes even afterwards for post-production and stuff. It's absolutely wild what all becomes involved as you decide to make a movie in this town. One of the things that we like is we are obsessed with this story. We want to get it on the screen. We now have a group of people who are pretty much equally obsessed and also want to get this movie on the screen, and people feeling very passionate about it. And between the combined passion and 3.5 years of thinking and plotting and planning by me and David, we're going to come through the production process on this. We're actually in filming right now. Check our IMDb. Look up Vengeance Turns. And what you're going to see is that we're going to bring in this movie at a budget level that most of the time movies of the quality of what you're going to see, from the acting to the cinematography to every aspect of it. Will it be obvious that it's an indie? I would say so. I would feel safe to say that when people see it, they'll recognize the fact that it's an independently produced feature. But I also defy anybody who watches it to actually ever uh, accurately guess the amount of actual cash
that we're spending on
that
it.
went
Yeah.
into it. It's phenomenally low. And so what that does is it gives people an opportunity, for instance, like the actors who are working with us, to be involved on a project to where back end in this business, again, 2020, we're in the real world here. It's pie in the sky. When people talk about back end and people try to lure you into a project, you know, hey, can't pay up front, but we'll get you on the back. It's gotten to be such it's literally a joke in this town that with us on this movie, while it still is pie in the sky, we know that. We've told our actors that. We tell financiers and investors the same thing. It's pie in the sky. But here's the deal is like if you could get the same pie that normally cost $9.99 for a slice, and you could have the entire pie for like $2, wouldn't you do it? Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of value proposition, you know, to where that's what we're basically giving people, is that people who maybe already are interested in being in a movie, or people that are already interested in investing in a movie, and they've been waiting for that Microsoft, or they've been waiting for that Apple opportunity, because don't forget, those weren't sure things either. They
Mm-hmm.
feel like it now when they're paying for kids' college educations and stuff. But none of that was sure, you know. That's why Bill Gates was able to offer things like uh, the different stock options and stuff like that with Microsoft originally, because it really had no value to him. He didn't have cash to give them. Kind of bled over into this industry. So we're going to be able to put a picture out that if anybody sees it, do you know, if it's not just our friends, if this thing enters the realm of actual seen movies at any level, it's profitable. That's insane. And then if a movie like that catches fire, because all of a sudden now that becomes a story, and you've got a PR machine sitting right here, somebody that can write press releases and stuff. If people get wind of that a movie has become insanely profitable, guess what? We live in a town where that is what people are looking for. They want to hear that. They're like, wait a minute, you turned $1 into $10 with a movie? Come talk to me. Because then when they find out the insanely low amount we did, they say, well, what if we give you 10 times that amount? And that's still far, far less than what they're used to dealing with. But it's a small, easy gamble for them to take. You know, that's how a lot of careers get made around here. And then people, once those early adopters, those people who were our early followers, and they bought our t-shirts, they bought our pins, they bought our posters, they bought the link to the movie, but they bought these physical items and stuff. Now they literally have collector's items because they have something that nobody should have ever seen because it was such a low budget feature. Caught fire, goes big. That's when these things are worth money. When you've got a t-shirt that there's only 300 of them, or when you've got a print that there's only 50 of them. You know, when you've got a pen that there's only so many hundred of, or whatever. 51 years old, the majority of that, literally like 46 years of that, collecting comic books. I've never bought comic books for value, but I've watched their values go up and down, and I've always recognized what makes a good value in a comic. When the art quality and the value of the comic is really high, and especially if it's like from a new team or a new artist that no one's ever heard of, but you're like, holy crap, this is good, and you take it home. It's quite often that stuff that catches fire. You know, that's the stuff that when you're trying to find it, you look for it on eBay, or you look for it at your comic store, and it costs $1,000 or $10,000 or something like that.
It's so true. Yeah, because it is one of those things where at 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 the point that we are right now, we are literally coal that, with all the pressure that we've gone through and all the pressure on making this film, it can become a gem, if not a diamond. But again, it always has to start as a coal.
And that's it. And on that note, we have had plenty of pressure. And we've survived it. I mean, we had a wild ride of a first day with, problems, things missing, all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, we came through with some excellent footage and a really great day. And of course, like we said, since then, there's always problems where different financing goes away, different financing coming in. And one of the things that we've been proud of for a long time, anyway, or the attempt has been to not depend on other people for money and for outside funding and stuff. And where we have had some bit of that's been real and stuck with us of outside funding. One of the things that we're looking for right now is this is kind of our infomercial this weekend. We're like, we should have actually had some jingle ready, or something. Because it seems so low energy for an infomercial. We don't have a crowd of people sitting behind us or anything.
Do I have a jingle? What is this one? Hello and welcome to the infomercial for Vengeance Turns. Brought to you by Cabin Fever Radio. Make sure to buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a pin, buy a poster, buy something. Help us out.
Yeah.
This is Vengeance Turns, the infomercial.
Lots of turning, lots of vengeance. So yeah, there we go. There. If we had an audience here, they would be going nuts right now. That's like, oh my God, vengeance turning everywhere. Oh, I want it on me.
Instead, currently, wait, where's
Wait a minute.
Well, crickets are here. They're gonna buy something. What?
So we actually, if you're watching right now, if you're goofy enough to be sitting in here and watching us right now, we want you to go buy something. We have all of our stuff at our web store. And if you go to the vengeanceturns.com website,
which the link is on the screen. So Vengeance Turns, it's on the bottom. Vengeance Turns.
It's over here. So if you just look, the link is right there. See that? It's right there where I'm pointing right now.
Hopefully I spelled it correctly. No, yeah, I did.
Benghazi Turns. Yeah. But guys, we're putting a little bit of more emphasis on getting directly from us because of the fact that we can ship stuff to you so much faster.
Yeah.
Than going to the Indiegogo and stuff like that. If you go to the web store right now and you choose something, we'll be able to ship it out to you on Monday. You'll have it in your hands by the time we're in principal photography the next week. And additionally, because we don't want to cheat you for not going to the Indiegogo, anything on the website, on the web store that you buy, you're also going to get a digital link to the movie. So if you're wanting a digital link to the movie and worried you can't get it at the store, you can. You can just go in there and just buy a pack of the stickers. In fact, I don't know if you can add anything to the OBS, David. I don't even know if that's possible, or we can put something on the screen right now. But right now, for a few minutes, if we put this up here for a while, then people can watch it on the replay too. Ooh. Is the sticker pack is $15, but I will put out my 50% off promo code. It's supposed to be a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody because it's supposed to be a secret. This is the director's promo code. So this is the one that if my parents liked me, I would be giving this to them in order to let them buy stuff. But since they don't, I'm giving it to you guys. Okay. It's just my name. It's not Robert. It's Bobby. Just what everybody calls me, Bobby, Bobby, all caps, lowercase, doesn't matter. Bobby will get you 50% off. 50% off at the web store. So that $15 pack of stickers is now $7.50. If you were at the Indiegogo, that would be $10. So boom. Who's your savior? This guy. This guy just saved you $2.50. Boom. What do you think about that, people? That's the kind of love that we have for you. Promo code Bobby.
They're seeing me put it on the screen currently.
Bobby. Boom.
50% off at checkout using Bobby.
Uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter, people. Just Bobby, just like you see there. 50% off. Like I said, that's the cheapest way that I know of right now to get to watch this movie when it's done. The second cheapest way is like going to Indiegogo and stuff, but we don't want you doing that. Don't do that. Just go to the web store,
Buy some
get the
stickers.
buy the stickers,
Buy a shirt.
buy a shirt, enjoy the movie.
Enjoy the movie.
Everything there. You get a link to the movie. And you know what? I will make a deal that from right now until we're done filming, which is like October 20th or something, right? From now, yeah, it's September 26th. It's 5:30, September 26th. From now until we're done filming, every penny, every single cent that comes in through the web store, we will turn around and give to our actors.
I like that. Done. Let's do it.
It's not
Get
for us,
yourself a
people.
shirt. It's not for us.
You might hate us, but you got to love them.
Yes. So again, go to the web store, vengeanceturns.com. You'll see the link there. Just click on the link. Or again, we're using Big Cartel. I don't mind telling you guys that. Go to vengeanceturns.com vengeanceturns.bigcartel.com if you want to go directly. But again, vengeanceturns.com. Click on our store link. 50% off using Bobby. BOBBY. Wait, did I spell it correctly?
B-O.
BOBBY. Bobby Smith.
And speaking of Big Cartel, they've been really good, man. It's been really easy to use that site. So I highly recommend for people that are wanting to get their products, their art out into the world. It's not a bad way of doing it at all.
Yeah. Because again, like in our store, we do have our Vengeance Turns sticker pack, our limited edition Blood
put it up
Soaked
on the
Beauty
screen.
canvas print. We also have a bundle that has 2 shirts, 2 pins, a poster, and the whole works. So again, you can go there, you can check it out.
There's the bundle right there.
That's the bundle, yes. And you also get candy teeth. But you can only get the candy teeth with the bundle. So again, go check it out. Use 50% off. That's a lot of tabs, Bobby, by the way. Just letting you know.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if the people can see it, but you got a lot of tabs.
I am loving the tabs, man. I am loving the tabs.
Again,
can you see right now? Are you seeing our store?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. You got the bundles, you got the stickers, you got the poster, you got the t-shirts, you got the pins, and whatever it is that you get, you will get the link to the movie.
And all the other merch that you saw there, besides getting a link to the movie, all that stuff comes with certification. It's all numbered. It's all signed by me and David, with certification and stuff. So we're trying to make it where it is cool, exclusive merchandise, and everybody gets a little thank you card from me and David as well.
Yeah, because again, we want to make it as collectible as possible because we don't know what the future holds. Because, we are 2020 and it's been already a rough 2020. But we do want to make it the best as possible. So go check it out. VengeanceTurns.com. Very simple. Support the arts, support the actors, support the films, support indie people.
People asking us all the time, David, about the movie and about the story and about what it's about. And sometimes it's more fun than actually just giving away the whole story. It's more fun to kind of sit there and like give people some of the background and stuff. And
yes,
one of the favorite characters that so many people love is Ghost with Silent Knives Protects, who's going to be played by Nevin Milan in the movie. And one of the many pieces of merchandise that we're still working on that's not done yet is different comic book stuff. And the plan right now is to have a series of about like maybe 10 different short comic book stories done that we would put out onto the website while we're shooting until we're done shooting and stuff. And then have it come out like as a graphic novel or something, like around the time that the movie comes out. And that way people could have the movie in a graphic novel form and they could have these background stories and stuff like that. And one of them that we've already had done is with one of the real popular characters. Before we ever made the movie, people would just see the designs and stuff and got really interested, was Ghost with Silent Knives Protects. In fact, when people hear that name, they're like, what is that? And so one of the things I thought I might do tonight for people that are watching, because I don't know if anybody's watching or not, but if they want to watch and they want to get some entertainment, and maybe they tune in and they're usually used to watching Cabin Fever Radio at this time, that I would take and put up the comic book. It's a 7-page comic story from Ghost with Silent Knives Protects, and me and you can kind of just go through and kind of just mess around and read some of the word bubbles as we go, and just decide
Yeah.
who's going to do which part spontaneously as we go. Let's see.
We'll
All
just
right.
we'll just do like an old folk song. Just say take it.
So let me see what happens here. So yeah, exactly. I'll zoom in. What I'll do is I'll do stuff like this and move us around, and that way we can also kill time as we're messing around with people.
Yeah. I'm also
So
gonna make sure that we're
can you see it?
yeah.
Okay. So the name of this particular story that features Ghost with Silent Knives Protects. Oh, look, it says Quiet Knives. Out of all these years, I never noticed that.
Typos. That's how you know it's real.
Editors, yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So this story is called A Strong Voice, because one of the things that I like about Ghost with Silent Knives Protects is, if you watch the movie, he's a man of few words, but when he says something, it's always very important. It's always very heavy. It's always has meaning. He doesn't believe in wasting a word. And what we see is that when he was younger, he kind of went for a while where he didn't speak a lot because he went through some pretty horrible tragedies. And so this story just picks up one little moment where essentially, I believe in this story, he's living with some Apache. He grew up as a Kumeyaay, and his father was actually an Indian man from India. Crazy, right? And his mother was Kumeyaay. And then they get attacked. So kind of repeating theme in Vengeance Turns, families being attacked and split up. And Ghost ends up being taken in by an Apache tribe who, even while they take him in, he's still kind of an outsider even there, and he never quite fit in. And so here we have in this top panel, and I believe it's pretty much the same guy. No, okay, it's two different guys. One guy in the top panel, I'll be him, David, and then you be the guy in the next panel.
Okay.
You can see where they've kind of been beating on. This is Ghost that they've been beating on. The first guy says, "Do you think the white man's disease made him dumb?"
Ha! Maybe he scratched us. If you keep moving, ha! Maybe he scratched at his face so much he scratched out his voice.
And that's these two guys standing there laughing. And then it comes down to the next one, and that guy, the next, was that the first guy? No, it's you, still you.
Oh, never smiles, never even opens his mouth. Bet he sounds like a little girl anyway. Yeah. And if I was that ugly and dumb, I know I'd never make a peep or smile either.
I think that we should help him smile again, don't you? And then they attack him. And so now these two guys jump on top of Ghost with Silent Knives Protects. And let's see, how do I get to the next one? Let's just click on it. How about that? And let me zoom in on it. What we see here is those two guys jumped on top of him, and now one of the guys has a knife against his face, and he drags it down Ghost's face. And he says, "Stop struggling. You're just making this worse." And then he says, "The ugliest smile I've ever seen, Cave Runner." And then Cave Runner says,
Am I looking at the same one?
I don't know. I think so. Are we looking? Do you see the screens that moving right now?
No, I just see the
old one.
Yeah, the old panel.
Oh shit! Hold on. Then let me go back in here.
It's the best part of live entertainment. Technical difficulties. And how we deal with them, we just talk. We continue to talk as we talk about talking.
I will stop sharing, and then I will reshare with the right
reshare.
So here's the way it's gonna happen. There we go. Boom.
Oh.
And now let me go back from
Next
here
panel.
to here. Next panel. I'll go back to the top so that what we see is, and I'll make sure about this. Yeah, I think we'll have this okay. So this guy's cutting his face, and he says, "Stop struggling. You're just making this worse." Like that. And they're basically almost doing like that Joker kind of smile. And he says, "The ugliest smile I've ever seen, cave runner." And then what does he say?
For the ugliest dog fucker I've ever seen. Now you will be a real ghost.
Even that half-breed whore sister of yours won't be able to set eyes on you anymore. Big mistake talking about delicate.
Yeah.
And then he's just laying there bleeding.
You are useless.
I'll stop sharing for a second.
Going on to the next panel.
Yeah, let me get rid of these. And then I'll go to the next page. All right. And then I'll share it. There it is. And now I'll zoom in on it.
You're good there.
Do you want to be the shaman or the chief guy? So this is 2 years later.
with my Alfred voice?
Mm.
Oh no. This I have to practice a little bit.
Yeah.
Today we gather to complete training for many of you. Who stands ready? Who wants to make the first challenge to make the transition from a man to a warrior?
And like I said, this is 2 years later, you guys. And so Ghost had kind of disappeared. And all of a sudden we see this dude come walking up wearing like a kind of a serape, kind of a wrap around him. And he's got a wild looking hairdo, big scars on his face. And one of the guys is laughing and says, "Look, it's a ghost."
We may not have seen him for 2 years, but the ghost has been here the whole time.
Yeah, training while invisible, so we will stop kicking his skinny, stupid ass.
But now he wants to show us all that he's learned. I wonder which of our bitches he will choose to slap him around.
What? And then he's pointing.
Who will you challenge?
Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah, Alfred. And then these guys are like, wait a minute, because he's pointing at them. And these are the guys that whipped his ass 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we go to the next page.
Next panel.
All right, give me 1 sec. And then I'll share it. And I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, you guys, but you know what? It's not your show. So, live with it. All right, here we go.
Oh, no.
All right, there we go.
One. You must choose only one.
But Ghost insists, and he just keeps pointing at those same guys. And those guys, everybody starts laughing. And the chief says, And down here he says, "You didn't do too well the last time you faced us." And he just stares.
Hey, but at least you learn how to smile about the whole thing. It's a little Joker voicey kind of.
There you go. Yeah, well, it needs to be. It's not a bad idea. All right, so we'll get rid of that. Big drama. Big drama.
Next panel.
Next page.
Yeah. Oh, next page.
It's that dramatic. We go to page by page. That's the problem.
I know, right? Why didn't they make it into a PDF so we could just scroll on through?
I probably should have just thought about that and done it myself, quite honestly.
It's all good.
There we go. And then, so now he's challenged them. He's not back down. They've reminded him that, hey, we kicked your ass 2 years ago. At least you're smiling about it, pointing back to that. And now they're charging him. And Ghost is just standing there, not afraid. He moves. He dodges, parry thrusts like Bugs Bunny. Lets them keep missing him. And then everybody out there who was laughing at him are now laughing kind of with him. And now they're kind of like... And one of the guys says,
"Is that me or you?"
I'll do it. Yeah. "Look at him. He is no warrior. He does not even fight. He's an ugly reminder that our blood has been tainted by the white man and..." We'll take that page down. Let me stop
Oh
sharing.
no, what happened to him? Oh no, the Joker
Who-
must know.
Who could it be knocking at our door? Let's see.
I really like the Joker voice too. I gotta
Back
use it
in
more
here.
often.
And we'll share it. Do you guys like it when I narrate what I'm doing every step to you like your grandpa does? Now I'm going to open the door, and now, Timmy, you can walk through the door. All right. And then so the guy who was, yeah, and now he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knives in his back. That's fast. That's like 6 knives all fucking hitting you where he wants to hit.
He's got a machine gun with
And now
knives.
David's character, who's over there running his mouth before, is standing there looking at him holding a bigger knife, kind of like,
Yeah.
everybody else watching, and they're like, "Ooh, dang, dog, you gonna get fucked up if you try
Oh
that."
no, he did.
And the chief is in front going, "Fuck him up, do it." And this character is kind of like, "No, no," and then he
mercy, mercy.
sniveling. If you ever wonder what the word sniveling is, that's what David's doing right now. He's sniveling. And that's what the character is doing. He's like, don't do it, please don't kill me.
Please, no.
And
And
here's
then he
the
turns into
exciting conclusion
the
of a strong voice, brought to you by Vengeance Turns. Here it comes. Now, one guy's got knives in his back. He's on the ground. The other guy is begging for mercy. He's still begging for mercy. And Ghost walks over to him. The guy's expecting to get stabbed. Ghost is staring at him.
Ghost, he is defeated.
And Ghost just looks down at the guy like, you're not even worth my time. And then he reaches down, puts his fingers into the guy's blood who's already on the ground, smears it into like a wolf face, and just starts to howl like a wolf. And the other guy's laying on the ground just going, help. And then Ghost ends it by saying,
you talk too much.
The only line he says in the whole comic.
Shablam.
Pretty cool. And so what you in that story you get to see stuff that's like part of it is where you get some origin stuff about Ghost and Delicate, but then you also see some of the repeating themes of people being alone, people being with family, without family, and different things like that. And it looks like that we from the note that I just got, that we had one of our friends from Vengeance Turns stop in. And as always, I was running my mouth and talked past them, and they left. So I apologize to Tomer, Dave, Tom, if you're out there, buddy. Sorry about that. We do love you. And man, did you give us some good footage the other night. And we will be putting it probably at some point, not all of it, because we're not going to do that, but we might show just a little bit of it here later.
Yeah.
Dipped out, he dipped out, he dipped out, dipped out.
Yeah,
I'm getting wasted on kombucha, by the way.
I know, right? So on to the note of the comic books. I hope you enjoyed the comic books, the preliminary like sketches that we have. Again, it's not colored; it's still black and white. We do want to make a bigger, longer version. Again, for some of the backstories for some, if not most, of the characters involved in Vengeance Turns, including some of the oddballs, like whether it be Jefferson Coltrane, which is the villain. We want to know his backstory and how he became who he is, and what made him turn into a villain.
Yeah, that was really important to us, right? It's one of the things that we talked about, and we talked with even Jamal about, is that having, especially right now in 2020, just having a black guy in a movie as a villain was just not interesting, not at all. But when we got into developing the character, and that he's a former slave who's persecuted for being literate, all of a sudden things started to open up. And instead of feeling like that we were just turning an ugly wheel that didn't need to be turning, we actually put on a new wheel and made it look like the old wheel to trick people to use it on their car.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Of course. Yeah. Tractors and everything. but yeah, so we are gonna. That's one of the first ones. We do have another one for Simon. That's
Hmm.
more of a two
Wait,
pager type of thing.
no, no, it's all there.
Uh,
It's like 5 or 6 pages, but that one
uh,
has no word balloons or anything in it.
yeah.
I just haven't gotten to it yet.
So again, it's still in the works, but at the same time, we are trying to do as much as we can to make sure that what we do is not just a movie, but an experience.
Hmm.
It's more than an experience. It becomes a community. It becomes fandom. So you guys can get involved into why these people are the way that they are, and understand them as characters the same way that we grew up with Marvel and DC, and learning their backstories, even though they've been told several times. It's always fun to see, like, okay, I never saw it in that perspective, or I never, uh, that part of Spider-Man really caught my eye, or I can relate to that part of Superman or Batman, or something like that, where that's what we want Vengeance Turns to become. Not just a film, but a cult following type of film that you guys will be able to experience who these actors are, who these characters are, how they think, who they were that made them become who they are, what they've done in the past, so you can see what they can potentially become in the future, as well as, just share their stories. And hopefully we can relate to one or two or three or all of them. Or if we don't relate, we might know somebody else who does, and things like that. Like Jefferson Coltrane being a,
Hmm.
former slave who is literate, which was, again, not typical, but at the same time, very dangerous to be literate as a former slave.
They
You know,
would kill
same,
slaves if they caught them
yeah.
reading.
So, like, little nuances like that will make the character be deeper, will make it be
Hmm.
more real, instead of just like, oh yeah, he's
And
a former slave and he's a bad guy. It's like, no, we want to
right.
we want to add something more to it.
Yeah, and the thing is like if we enjoy enough success with all of this, then I am interested, Jamal's interested, other people are interested that are creatively involved on actually continuing to tell that story, whether it's in comic books or other movies. Because again, it's one thing just to see where this guy landed and kind of and how he ended up, but it's another thing to see those turning points, kind of like where his son faces in Vengeance Turns, where you're at that fork in the road and you've got to make a decision. And I always love the idea that Jefferson had to make a decision at some point, very similar to his son, to where his choice was to help or not help.
Yeah.
And he chose to help. And it put him in a situation because he's already on the run to where he was exposed and, put into danger and somehow vilified, somehow or another, kind of like To Kill a Mockingbird or something. It's like you just being a black guy at the wrong place at the wrong time, especially directly post slavery when some people were just looking for any reason, you know, that well, and during the end of slavery is when the probably this would have happened. Slavery probably still was going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it'd be really interesting to get in there and see that happen, because by the end of the movie, just at the end of the movie, you get to see that Jefferson is a very sophisticated character. It's not anything about being a thug or thuggish. He's massive, he's strong, he's brutal, but he's not a thug. He is a very shrewd and very decisive villain who uses people and allows even himself to be used, to certain degrees and stuff like that. That's where you start finding the nuances and stuff with characters and stuff, is when you've got a tougher character, a mean as a snake character, to quote Gloria, and they are still someone who puts themselves into a position where they allow themselves to be used. He literally knows he's being used, as he says at the end. And but the point to him is that that's not any different than what he's doing. He says that's the new way.
Mhm.
And that bugs me about the world we live in. That was me getting to speak through my characters, that in the world that we live in right now, that you could have someone like a punk like Donald Trump end up in our White House or something, and that it quits being about like being good people. He's turned a lot of good, probably fairly decent people into fairly shitty people just by dangling the right things in front of them,
Yeah,
and that's that's not the world that I really ever would cared to be a part of.
for sure. Yeah, and again, and that's what we want to make sure we highlight. Those stories, uh, because again, because we're an indie film, because we have no funding or low funding, a very small budget.
The
We
advantage is that nobody's telling us what the fuck to do either. That's the other
Yeah,
side of it.
yeah, it's like we get to tell the story that we want to tell and work with artists and actors who we might not be able to pay them solid cash, but we can work with them because they are passionate for the project. It's not just like, here's $2,000 so you can do 3 days of work and then go on your business. No, we are looking for artists and actors who are passionate about creating.
And a lot of our actors, literally, when they saw the kind of financial situation that we were running into, and most of it not our fault, as far as David and I go, not being the money people, when we ran into any kind of money problem that might have stopped them from being able to proceed, nearly every single one of them basically said, "Then move my pay to the end of it." Put
Yeah.
me at the end of the line and stuff. And it's been a really wild experience to have so many people so committed and involved on a project like this. It seems like no matter what setback that we've experienced as we're getting closer and closer to filming, every experience only seems to open the door to somehow or another a strangely better situation. And that is, with David and I first became friends, the word serendipity was like the topic of a conversation that night. I was telling him how that the word serendipity, Serendipity, there's our spelling bee for the night,
Yeah, I know, right?
is I used to hate this word because when I was younger and I was more of a punk rocker, the idea of serendipity, when just people would use, well, isn't that serendipitous? I just wanted to punch them right in the mouth, and part of it was because that I had not experienced a lot of serendipity in my life to that point. But I do believe now, as an older guy, as a 51-year-old, that you have in your life what you've invited in. So if you invite serendipity, if you invite positive coincidence into your life, you're more likely to experience it than you are if you're somebody who resists it, as I did as an anarchy riddled punk rocker in my 20s or whatever. And so by serendipity, I just simply mean that things sometimes seem to work out. They just seem to work out. And
Yeah.
very often in life, when we're faced with a problem, the first inclination, the first tendency might be to escape, to run away, you know, to abandon a project, you know. But it's a test of character, as we were saying last night, in our meeting, that particularly in this business, that when you're faced with a challenge, you basically, it's that fork in the road, analogy again, that here's the challenge. Now you can either run away and abandon everything you've been working on, or you can proceed down a path that maybe is unknown to you,
Yeah.
was unexpected to you, but seems to lead still towards productivity and success.
Yeah.
And so when those moments come and you don't turn away, when you have the confidence and you have the passion and the bravery to proceed, it seems like that life is willing to pay off. But you've got to make those risks. Another analogy for this is just weird. I know it won't exactly relate, but I think you'll get it, David. Is when you're learning a skill, a new skill, like if you're learning how to paint, play an instrument or something, or learn a new language, for instance, it's very often very frustrating because it seems to go like this when you're trying to learn. You want it to go like this. You want to be like, I started reading about it and damn, now I'm an expert. And the way it generally goes is you start reading about something new and you end up going like, God damn, I really don't understand this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is if you'll follow along with it long enough, what happens is these miraculous little jumps. They're called plateau jumps. So you're moving along, it feels like nothing's happening. You're beating your head against the wall, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, unexplainably, inexplicably, yeah, you
I
jump
got
up a
it.
level.
Yeah. And then keep
Yeah,
going.
that's it. And then it gets frustrating again if you stay with it, because now you're like, well, fuck, now I'm at that level and I don't know what to do because I'm reading and I'm studying again, but I made the jump and I know how I made that jump. So why is it not working again? Well, because you've already made that jump. The same thought processes won't jump again. You've already made that jump. Now you've got to keep on spreading your pedals and stretching towards the sun. And so the same thing's going to continue happening. You're going to plateau again for a while. And it's a test. It's like the universal test of tenacity, of persistence. You know, do you have what it takes? How badly do you want this? Will you hang in there? And if you'll wait, you'll get that pop. And that pop, that's serendipity. You know, that's kind of what it's weird to try to come at it from all these different angles, you know, but it's just that there's nothing good that's going to come, at least not to people like me. I grew up very blue collar in Kentucky, and I never grew up with the idea that good things are just handed to you. You know, that was always somebody else. And it was always even so far away from me, so much somebody else that wasn't even something I was allowed to hope for. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even something I was allowed to think, man, I hope that maybe that'll be me someday. It was always just something like, that's over there. That's their life. This is my life. And my life didn't tell me you can't have good things. My life simply said, if you want those things, there's a price tag. And you're going to have to make decisions every single day, all through the day, of what you're going to trade. You know, it's like, what are you going to do with every single second, you know? And that's just me though. And I'm not, and I feel jealous of people that don't have to experience that. And sometimes I actually resent them, you know, and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that it works this way, because to me, that's art. You know, we've talked about this, all the different ways of describing art and stuff. But when you finally get done with a painting or a song or an album or a movie, and that feeling of every frustration that you had to experience, that all throughout it seemed like it may stop the process, that things may grind to a halt, and instead, here it is, it's done. And people are watching it going, wow, man, how'd you do that? That's cool. That's neat. I didn't think about that, and stuff like that. At that point, the little things, challenges that you faced seem so minuscule. They seem to just reduce in the light of the completed project, you know?
Yeah.
That was
And
my ramble.
yeah, and speaking of completed project, did you buy a shirt? Did you go to our website? Go buy a shirt. Buy a pin. Buy stickers.
Let's show them what it looks like. Hold
Yeah,
on,
again,
back up.
vengeanceturns.com. It's on the screen. Vengeanceturns.com. Very simple.
When you get there, it'll look like this. Oh God, stop it. Hold on, yeah. No, share screen. There it is. There it is. Yeah,
Share
like that.
screen.
So when you get there, it'll look like this. What you have there is you have Gloria right here and Mia in the middle, and Delicate Poison over here. And you scroll down, it says support the movie, buy our merchandise. And then there's a picture of our bundle there, because that's a great, great deal. You got both of our shirts there. This is the color shirt. This is the black and white and grayscale shirt from the podcast. Stickers, both pins. One is full color again, and one is brushed metal.
Yeah, a vintage gold metal.
Yeah. Then there's the bag of teeth, that the only way you can get the teeth are through the bundle. And then you've got the blood-soaked beauty print there. And we're getting ready to bring out a new one, but there's not a ton of these left. So you're going to want to get one of these while you can. So once you're there, you just click right here and it says click for our store. If you go underneath that, though, you can also click and support us on our Patreon, and that'll support Vengeance Turns while we're filming it. And if you want to stick with it, it'll help us do Cabin Fever Radio, which is what's normally going on at this time. We're just we took it over. We kind of hijacked it, because it's easy to hijack it when you own the station, when you own the airwaves.
Pretty much.
It doesn't count as a hijack. It just counts as being narcissistic, and we are that as well. So if you go down, if you're going down and you scroll down our page, what you'll see there is you can go back and listen to the whole original podcast if you want as well. You can spoil the experience. And then if you scroll all the way down, it's like, wow, there you are again, back down to more merchandise. And then if you keep scrolling, you can meet our cast. You can meet the lovely Paula Luelmo, Azim Vecchio, Nevin Milan,
Kelsey
Jaffer,
Adam
Adam
Freed.
Freed. Who's it? This one? It's Just B.
It's either Just B or Mariah. One of
Just
the
B or Mariah.
two.
And then this is
Rob Fury.
Rob Fury. And
Uh,
then probably Just
that's
B or Mariah.
Comstock.
Comstock, Kate Comstock.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's the Just B one. Or
Just
Steven
B.
Cicero.
Oh, Cicerone.
Cicero.
And now we're saying all these guys' names over and over, so you get what we're saying. But if you
and then
watch these
Just
videos,
B, and then
yeah,
Mariah, and then more Just B.
these little videos are fun too. They're all just about a minute long. And it's just people talking about their character. It's introducing the actor, introducing themselves, and kind of introducing their character. So they're neat little videos. And then it reminds you that we are trying to support a bunch of different causes as well. We are not people who are out just looking out for ourselves. So as we continue to make Vengeance Turns, one of the reasons I am so obsessed with making this movie is not for me to profit. I don't have a big plan to make a lot of money off of it. If anybody ever cares enough, if you want to challenge me on it, I'll show you, for instance, my acting contract where everybody else gets a certain percentage. Mine says, here's that percentage. And there's also another clause after that that says that money will all be directed towards these causes. So if you want to know what causes, go there and you can see the causes. And if you know of other great causes you think we should know about, let us know. You can listen to the whole podcast. And then if you make it all the way to the bottom of the page, you get one more final reminder to go buy merchandise. So let's do that. Let's click on that and go there. When you go there, here you are. This is what it looks like. It says Vengeance Turns Radio Show and Podcast. That's how this all started. So you got the bundle there. You got the sticker pack there. You got the print there. You got the commemorative full color t-shirt there. The Vengeance Turns Show and Podcast full color pin there. And you see these prices on here, you don't got to pay that much if you don't want to. We'd love it if you did. That's the price. But I'm here as the director. I'm here to tell you that we have, I think it's probably still up on the screen, is we have a special promo code that you could use. And
Bobby.
the cheapest.
That's the promo code.
That is it. Yeah, I thought you were talking to me, but that's it.
Bobby.
This sticker set is $15, but if you use the promo code, it's $7.50. And that ends up making it the cheapest way to watch the movie once it's done, because every single thing you saw there, if you buy that, you get a digital link to the movie as soon as it's ready.
Yeah, and again, on merch, should we show them a new shirt that we're planning to release?
Perfect idea. It was a great thing. That's one of the great reasons to hijack the Cabin Fever Radio novellas tonight.
Yeah, so here it's still, as you can see, it's still in my Adobe Illustrator software, because literally we just made it not so long ago, and it's going to be the Lost People t-shirt. And
we're
as you
really
can
proud
see,
of this for a couple of specific reasons. Go ahead, David.
And as you can see, this being the main reason why, this logo was made in collaboration between Nevin Milan, which will be playing Ghost of Silent Knives, and Kelsey Jaffer, who is playing Delicate Poison.
His sister.
The sister.
In the movie, the character.
In the movie, yeah. Okay. I forgot we got to add the in the movie, because they're not real brother and sister. Although they do share some same
common links. It's crazy.
Yeah, common links in their ancestry, where they're from similar areas in Pakistan. Is it Pakistan?
Yeah. It's like what is now Pakistan at the time of the movie would have been like northern India.
Yeah. So they might share a bloodline. We don't know, but they do have roots.
And they're both musicians
that are tied
artists
together. Yes. And again, that's where the serendipity comes into play, because, if it happened to be, and we met Kelsey about 3 years ago. We met Nevin about 3 months ago. And it so happened to be, and again, playing brother and sister in the film, and actually having some family lineage that could potentially be something bigger. It's actually pretty fun.
Keep that up, David, because I'll tell them the story. If somebody's watching right now and they want to hear the story on this, that design that you see is basically it's Nevin and Kelsey together working on it, because Nevin started out with combining two ideas. One was like a sort of a design from the northern India, Pakistan area, and then the another was a sigil kind of a thing from a Native American tribe. And then they combined those, and they came up, and then Kelsey came up with about 5 or 6 different configurations of it as more of a sketch looking like this, because Nevin's was more of a full blown out, like like
Rendering,
logo.
yeah, like
Yeah,
a
rendering.
just imagine a family crest
Right,
type.
right. Exactly. And so Kelsey made it more into the line work. He did like 5 different versions of it. And then me and Nevin both looked at it. And before I ever even got back to it, Nevin had already said, okay, I like this one, but let's do this. And so this is true collaboration right here.
Yeah,
It's my ideas put out into the world and then other people taking them and then they get together and then they get their heads back and forth. And this is the kind of stuff that for me on making a movie, especially becomes mind bending as far as the amount of collaboration that's allowed and that's possible and the in some ways even Easter eggs and stuff that are available to those who know about the movie beyond those who are just watching it. There's stuff that like this that's like internal. It's like having an in joke almost. You know, with you and your
yeah,
friends, you know stuff that nobody else knows. And now people that are watching, they know that as well. So I think that's kind of stuff that's really, really cool. And
yeah,
this shirt's really cool. So we're really putting a focus on this of like not overpowering, letting the image overpower. It's such a cool image that we want people to get close to it. So instead of putting it out real big, like we do with this all the time, we're putting it just as a corner up here. And the only thing that'll say anything about Vengeance Turns will be a very simple script across the back, like David has there. And that's the only thing we don't have final yet. But that's basically it. Just something real simple and basic straight across
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Because for the back again, for anyone who is interested in fashion and all that, obviously I made it big so it could be a little bit easier to see during the live stream. But most likely it will end up being close to. Let's see. You guys can see how I actually do most of this stuff. It would be about a 4-inch text. So it might end up being more like that than anything else. Because again, we don't want to overpower, we don't want to over exaggerate, we want to make it as minimalist as possible. So it'll be literally almost a small little tag. Just imagine like that in the back.
Almost like just a
Says
brand,
Vengeance Turns.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. More
Hmm.
of a brand than a big
Yeah.
screaming logo. But we thought that was neat because neat that it's gonna be one of our next pieces of merch. Neat that it was again something that started with me. And I'm gonna say something else weird right now is that literally a lot of people did not start with me. Do you remember where that started, David?
Not really.
District Pub.
Ah,
Me,
yes.
you, Amanda, Kelsey,
Yes.
and Shira Barber sitting at the table. And while we were
Yes.
talking
I
about this, Shira
remember.
Barber shouts out the Lost People.
Yes.
So Shira Barber is the one that actually put those words out into the world. Hey, Shira.
Yeah, yeah, and again, it goes back to we've been trying to make this film
Since
come to
2017.
fruition for a while now. And now that we have momentum, we want to continue that momentum. And the only way to continue that momentum is obviously with your support, your contributions, your help, uh your good vibes
Totally.
at that.
And
Just saying how's the movie going type of thing. That just lifts our spirit up because we can hear the fans saying keep going, you know. Again,
and
we would like you to donate, to buy a shirt, to finance, in one way or another, but sometimes as humans we just need somebody to be like, just keep it up, just keep it up.
and David, I'll actually go ahead and say something that was not planned and that we'd almost actually planned on the opposite. And that is just saying that just to let people know, we did suffer a minor setback. Not even minor. We suffered a setback recently, just a measurable. It was a measurable setback, but it didn't stop us. It slowed us
Yeah,
down for a couple of minutes. And man, it was for a few seconds. We felt like we hit a wall, but we actually realized that we were actually preventing the entire production from crashing into a wall.
yeah,
And so in the process of doing that, what we discovered was that we had less cash
yeah,
on hand than we actually believed that we had. And every single person involved on the production, other than the person who left, has really stepped up to the plate and done everything possible to make sure that this movie continues. Everything possible that you can imagine. And one of those things that David and I are doing is this: is we decided that we would not do Cabin Fever Radio novellas tonight. That we would just kind of talk to people about Vengeance Turns, and because we needed to promote it anyway. It was
Yeah.
time to do a little pitching, because that's the thing, is we kind of got behind on some of the other stuff like this that we wanted to do. See you people and reach out to you while we were too busy putting out fires on other stuff. So it's worth it to us to have a little meeting like that with the world tonight, our little one-on-one with you guys. You know what I mean? I think that's how David labeled this tonight. It's like our one-on-one with our audience, and I like that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we put the Bobby promo code out there. And you can use MRDR if you want. If you really like David, if you really want to still get 50% off, but you're not so crazy about my hillbilly name, use MRDR for Mr. David Ruano, MRDR, and you'll get 50% off that way as well. Or don't use any promo code and let us get all of that money through the web store for those items. We'll get them out to you on Monday, and then we'll take the money and put it in the pocket of our actors, or in their bellies, because they got to eat. They got to eat.
Yeah, because again, it is one of those things where, yes, we had a setback, but at the same time, we're not just gonna sit on our hands and wait for somebody to pick us up. Like, no, we're gonna step up. There's a quote that one of our actors said not so long ago, because we met up with him a couple hours ago.
Probably said this 2 hours ago to us.
Yeah,
trying to lift our spirits.
Azim Vecchio, he said this, and the way he said it is completely different than how most other people say this saying, this proverb that is well known throughout the universe, which the proverb goes, when someone closes a door,
a window opens or something.
A window opens, or something in that vein. That's usually how the rest of the world says it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he said it was, I'll pull it up so I won't misquote him. He said, "When one door closes, you are supposed to walk through another one."
Mm-hmm.
And that just elevates the quote even more so, because again,
it says don't stop is what it says.
Pretty much. It's like, if one door closes, don't wait for somebody to open a window for you. No, go look for another door and open it. Go look for another window and open it. Go look for another door. That's it.
Make the door. I used to be in sales. Break it open. David, I used to be in sales, man. That's exactly the way I used to tell people. I used to tell, because I would have my salespeople sometimes, and they would come up to me and they'd be like, "Bobby, I'm not having any luck. I don't know what to do." And I'd like, "Let me sit down with you. Let me see what you're doing. Let me find the hole in your bucket." One of the expressions I like. And I'd sit down with them and I'd watch them start doing all their calls and stuff. And I would after they got done, I'd let them go through, and I would want them to kind of get into their natural rhythm and stuff, so I wouldn't, Heisenberg them. I didn't want to influence them too early. And so then when they get through a battery of calls or whatever, I'd say, "Hey, let me ask you a question. Like, is that your normal thing? Are you normally going right to those same people every time?" And like, "Yep." And man, I'm just never working. It's like beating my head against the wall. I was like, "Well, then why are you doing that? You just said it yourself. I didn't want to say it, but you just told me that you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, and you're calling the same people every time." And I said, "Let me tell you how I got my success in sales. Is I'm kind of a pit bull, and a lot of people know that, and a lot of people don't like that about me. Is that once I get my mind set on something like making this movie, it's like, once we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Once I decide that you're the cinematographer, it's like, David, please get the camera and shoot this, Once I decide that you're the guy supposed to get the money, I'm like, get the fucking money, But there was a point there, right? What was the point?
Sayings. We were talking about different sayings on opening, making your own door.
Right. And so what I used to tell people was how I got my success in sales was I would call place. Because you always, when you start in sales, they always give you the leads, and they always give you the crappy leads of whoever got fired last. So you always got the worst leads in the place. It's just the way that it works. And so when you're calling them, you're calling those beat your head against the wall people. And I would always figure that out really fast, because I didn't mind sitting down and doing my calls. Call. It's like, oh, these are the worst leads I've ever had. So my choice at that point was to stand up and tell my boss I made a mistake and I need to go ahead and walk out the door because I can't do this job. Or it was to sit there and go, I got to find somebody else to call. I got to find out there's somebody at this fucking place that will listen to me, And so what my saying was, this goes back to the doors thing. Finally, I'm getting there. Is that if you're trying to go through the same front door as everybody else, you're gonna be shoulder to shoulder in a mob scene.
Yeah.
If you just sneak around the side of the building and find a weak spot, you might just kick the wall in and just go ahead and, you know. So that was my whole thing, is blow, like you kind of said this as well, was a blow it open. Blow it open. Don't wait for somebody to come out the front door. Don't try to squeeze through the front door like a pack of trying to get into a pack of sardines or something like that. Fuck that. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Instead, realize where you're at and what's happening, that you're trying to fit through a bottleneck with a million other people. Get out of the situation, get some objectivity, and see if there's another way in, and then go through the back door or go through the side door. If you can't find those, then create a door. That's been my philosophy. And I think that's where, you know, the strength of somebody like Azim comes, is he tells us what he told us because we told him what we had been doing. And he was like, dude, that's strong, because you're not letting anything stop you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, we are making this movie. We might make it with a hand tied behind our back for a little bit, but we're making the movie. We are opening that door. We are going to make something amazing. For who? For you guys. The movie's not for us. We already wrote it. Bobby already wrote the script. He already knows everything that's involved and all the backstories. And he wants to share it with who? With you guys. Why else are we making movies? Why else are we telling stories? Not for us. We already made the story. We're doing it for who? For you guys. Simple. That's why we want to make sure that you guys can get a piece of something that can become a diamond, a gem, a ruby. Get a shirt. Support the film. Get a pin. Support the film. Get some stickers.
What shirt are you wearing, Dave?
And just support.
Same one?
No, I'm using. I have
cool.
I have the full color one.
So we both got our shirts on right now. This is the only way you can get these two shirts is in the bundle.
Yeah. So I have the full color. He's got the limited edition black and white podcast. These shirts are for who? For you guys. I don't want 300 shirts. Why would I want 300 shirts? Yeah.
Please get them out of here. That's why we're giving you a 50% discount. Everything else we've been saying tonight is a lie. Please, please, please get the shirts out of our house now. Help us.
Because again, yeah, it's one of those things where
I need to lay down. I don't have a place to lay down.
Yeah,
shirts and prints and pins everywhere. I'm tired of sleeping on pins.
It's like I have a sticker right there, but I only have one because I only need one. All the other stickers are for who? For you guys.
I got stickers on both sides of my door. I like it when people are outside my door to know that Vengeance Turns is inside the room, and people who are inside the room to know that should they decide to leave, there's still plenty of Vengeance Turns outside the room.
Yes. Yeah.
And that then they would know to go to our website at vengeanceturns.com and clicking on that, or go to just vengeanceturns.bigcartel.com, and then they would buy merchandise like the shirts, the pins, the blood-soaked beauty thing. The blood-soaked beauty thing, the original, is right over here next to me, and it was painted by Ken Meyer Jr. And it's funny because I'm 51 now, and the first time I saw Ken's work, I was probably about in my late 20s or early 30s, and it was in a comic book, and he did painted work in a comic book with one of my favorite comic writers, and it was a science fiction story. And I remember at the time, like I always do, and I still do this, I'd see a comic book artist I like, and I'm like, someday I want to work with that dude.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of neat that it took a long time, but it was really neat that I finally did get to have Ken do something. And then, of course, like with the blood-soaked beauty, I mean, not blood-soaked beauty, but the Vengeance Noir. Let me pull that up too. The Vengeance Noir was by another friend. This is a comic book artist in Scotland. His name is Rob Moran. And
Rob Moran.
Rob Moran. And
I like rolling R's.
Yeah, he's quite amazing. And let me share this picture with you guys. So that one, Vengeance Noir. What you have in the back, the big image, that would be Mia. And she's got a gun going this way, and she's got her claws going that way. And the claws thing is not like Wolverine. They don't like pop out or anything like that. This is just something that she carries around because she's got a damaged arm and damaged hand that she can't use very well. And so to compensate, she ends up kind of inventing her own little claw weapon. And it gives her quite a bit of amusement and satisfaction to fuck people up with that claw. Uh, and then we have her in the middle here as well. That's her again here in the middle, holding the claw like that and the gun like that. Over to her side, holding the gun out, that's Gloria. Gloria is an interesting character I can come back to in a minute. And then standing to her other side, holding a knife, is Delicate Poison. And real interesting, Rob asked me for some character or some photo references and stuff on these characters. And this was before we had cast the movie. So for Mia, I told him to use Odette Anable, who is from the show Banshee and from Supergirl and stuff like that. For the character of Gloria, I had him using, oh gosh, what's her name? She was on a season of The Walking Dead. Gorgeous girl. It's escaping me right now. And then for Delicate Poison, I had him use Amber Midthunder, who I saw first on Legion on FX. Really good show. So especially if you look at the picture of Delicate Poison, you might actually see that Amber Midthunder in there. It's kind of neat. But I really like that picture, and this is getting close to what I want to see on like a movie poster. I don't want to do a typical Hollywood movie poster. I would rather do something that's drawn or painted using the likenesses of our characters and our actors. And this is very close to it. If we already had our actors at this time, this may have even been it. So something in that vein.
But yeah, and again, it's one of those things where when it comes to all the creativity and the community that we've built, the artists that have been a part of this, we have so much to share, from original artwork, from t-shirts, pins, posters, hats, coasters. My dad is engraving coasters on wood.
I can go grab one. They're over there.
Yeah, if you have a coaster, that'd be pretty cool. And so we have so much, and we want to share it with you guys. Very, very simple way to do that is vengeanceturns.com. Vengeanceturns.com is where you can go. And if you don't know, that is vengeanceturns.com. Did I mention vengeanceturns.com? Because I will continue to mention Vengeance Turns because of vengeanceturns.com. I've been saying vengeanceturns.com for the past 3 minutes.
I don't think this is the exact one because this one's got the hole in it.
Yeah,
but this is really representative of what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was a like a proof concept to see how the wood reacts to the burning. But again,
there's one of the tests that I know you said this is where it got a little more burned. Oops.
Yeah. But yeah, because that was the wood itself was a little bit more grain,
smoldery. Yeah.
So it burned a little bit harsher than it should have.
It kind of smokes itself almost, right?
Yeah, because he's using a laser cutter, so it cuts by lines, and because wood burns, that particular wood kind of keeps the burn a little bit longer than it should, because it's wood. The plain and simple. So we have switched over to more of a compressed like MDF wood composite, which is imagine wood pulp that's been ground with an adhesive and then just compressed.
Imagine like a laminate, you guys, like the surface of a laminate floor.
Yeah,
and taking the very thinnest.
And it holds the carving a lot better. But again, it's still wood, and it has that wood smell to it, which I personally enjoy. But yeah, so again, we are working on different merch. So keep up to date with our merch, because we are gonna put the Lost People t-shirt there soon. We are gonna have the coasters on our website as well soon.
And like everything, all that stuff will be limited. There'll be a certain number of them. You'll know when you get yours what number of how many you got.
Yeah.
Little certificate in there for me and David, and a little card in there saying thank you that we signed.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, we're trying to make the most enjoyable experience for who? For you guys.
For the
That's it.
viewers at home.
The
And
viewers at home.
who are trying to not be at home, probably, you know.
I know, right?
One of the things that we've been also talking about is, if everything stays on track, is that our premiere, I always thought this would be a very cool idea, is with all the COVID stuff going on in junk, and somebody will co-opt us on this. I know they're going to hear this and beat us to the punch, but to do our premiere at a drive-in and do the whole Walk of Fame and everything, but with masks on and all that, and have but doing it at a drive-in.
Yeah. That would be amazing to be able to premiere at a drive-in, safe and sound.
Everyone, and this is a drive-in movie. This is just that kind of movie, you know.
We're not saying it's long.
It is long. It will be. It takes 3 days. You have to watch it in installments. It's a mini series that it doesn't stop.
It's 130 pages, dude. It's 130 pages.
130, and that's after I got it down pages. That's like cutting stuff out.
Yeah.
Editing. That's the power of writing. Editing. And whoa, yeah, we forgot to tell people what the name of this program was tonight. This is the Hedge Infomercial. Welcome to the Hedge Infomercial, folks. When I make a mistake, I like to own it, and I like to just continue it and never own it as a mistake, but just wrap it into reality.
Well, but now you gotta do a little bit more up. I'm gonna give you some music for it. Ready? And
hi, I'm Bobby Smith, and this is the Hedge Infomercial, where we sell you Vengeance Turns merchandise, and we get your help and assistance in building an audience for the funkiest, craziest, snazziest, snappiest Western this side of the Mississippi or the other side. Get your tickets now with any items from the Vengeance Turns store. You can go to vengeanceturns.com and buy stuff there, or you can just go to vengeanceturns.bigcartel.com. Either way, you're going to end up there. You're going to buy stuff. Get your credit card with the most room on it. Use that one, baby.
And stop.
It was probably a little too late, or it was a little more sultry. It was a little grosser feeling when you stopped the music. It was supposed to be over top. You give it. It would have been a little funkier had there been music. It was a little more lascivious and a little more guy in a raincoat without the music. Look at me.
Well, then
you like.
Let me bring it back.
See? Now that sounds funky. Check that out. Listen.
Oh yeah.
But now stop the music. See, that just sounds like I swallowed something bad, or I'm staring at your wife the wrong way. Your wife is pretty.
Or not.
I swallowed some bologna in my pants. Do you want to see it?
This is the part where we usually have the post show because we're tired and
we're splitting up the madness among many other people.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not just the two of us. So back to the music. Ali G. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da.
I gotta move the mic. I gotta get down.
Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. But again, we do truly want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank you for your support. We want to thank you in general just for being you. And more than anything, we want to express our deepest appreciation for everything that you have seen us do and helped us with. And Bobby's rhythmic groove as we go on to our next enjoyable entertainment that I don't know what we're going to do after this. But again, we want to thank you. We appreciate everything that you do. Get yourself a t-shirt.
I wonder what I'll do.
Get yourself a pin. Get some stickers. Put them on stuff. Put the
So
stickers on the refrigerator. I don't know. Put the T-shirt in the refrigerator if you want.
I've been
That's
trying
also a
to push.
possibility.
I've been trying to push a theory for quite a long time now.
About refrigerators?
Well, know about the stickers.
Oh,
That the stickers to me are like the ultimate, absolutely ultimate item you can buy from us because they are perfect to use on people that you love. Because like your best friend, if you really love them, you are only going to improve the way they look if you put one of these stickers
stick 'em up.
on them. Their car, like especially on something fancy and expensive, you want to like take a sticker. Your friend drives a Maserati, Vengeance Turn sticker, upgrade right there. And now the same thing is true with your enemies. See, is the way I look at it. That's why it's a win-win situation. You can't spend $15 in a more versatile way than this because your friend has it on his back, your friend's got it on his Maserati, they're happy. And now you've got enemies as well. And so it's equally effective on your enemies. Your enemy has a Maserati. Put the sticker on there because he doesn't know that you did it and he just doesn't know what we are yet. So it's just annoying to him. You see random people like not wearing their mask and shit, like when you're at the mall, walk up behind them, put a Vengeance Turn sticker on them like that. And then people will recognize them as a rat licking anti-mask asshole. So these things, man, I'm telling you that it's like for me, a Vengeance Turn sticker for the price, dollar for dollar, not pound for pound because they're very light.
Unless you're talking about English pounds, then
yeah, and then we don't do that because we're only selling to Americans. We're not shipping overseas, man. The fucking thing with the mail right now is out of control, and I'm not facing any blowback because blowjob to Joy or whatever his name is licked somebody's butt at the wrong time, and my package didn't make it to Britain. Not a thing I'm ready to deal with.
just not.
So there was a point somewhere in there, and I'm going to end it like this. Go to the store, not the store. Don't leave your house. Don't turn this program off. For God's sakes, don't turn us off.
The digital.
But you've got, as you can see, let me show you something. You can have many tabs open. I'll prove that by sharing my screen with you. In fact, if you don't have many tabs open, you probably live a very boring life. So let me show. There you go. See, you want tabs. That's what you want.
I don't think they can see it on this because I do.
Oh, really?
I do crop the top and the bottom a little.
Well, I promise you, there's 20 tabs open on there right now,
and they're all to the store.
Yes, no, only one of them is to the store. But you, on the other hand, Mr. Customer, if you had 20 tabs open to the store, you would be my best friend, especially if you were using various credit cards that you found on the different pages. Don't do that. Don't find any credit cards. You can steal them, straight up steal them. Johnny, if you're watching right now, is mommy asleep? Did mommy drink again, Johnny? Listen, Johnny, get closer to the computer because I want to whisper in case I don't want to wake mommy up. Johnny, if mommy drank again too much, then we need to teach mommy a lesson, okay? I want you to go get mommy's purse.
This should definitely not be on YouTube, but
well, all of our stuff shouldn't be. It should be marked
anyway,
for not kids. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but
it should be marked for not adults either.
But shh, Johnny, don't pay attention. He's making this hard, Johnny. I know you're getting bored. So listen, before mommy drunks sometimes wake up randomly because that's the thing about alcoholics is they get hot flashes and they have to pee randomly or vomit and stuff. So hurry up, Johnny, and get into mommy's purse, any of the credit cards or all of them, okay? But then different browsers and maybe even go to Timmy's house, go to a different house. So it's a different IP address.
And by the way, an IP address is an address for your internet. The same way you have an address for your house. We got to teach him that too, because I don't know if he understands what an IP address.
And this has been Criminalistics 101 with Vengeance Turns. Vengeance turns people into criminals, man. That's
not criminalistics, it's criminalistics.
Criminal.
This is the criminalistics.
I'm the criminal. He's the istic. Let's get busy. Johnny, I was just kidding. David, you didn't see it. I was trying to do that for you. I shook my head. I went, Johnny, I was just kidding. Johnny, whatever you do, don't Don't use your mom.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Johnny. Luke, I am your father. You may use my credit card, Luke. Take it from my wallet. Use the force of my credit, Luke. And tauntaun the hearth out of their...
What?
I'm just trying to put words together now. I was just trying to put Star Wars words together.
This is,
I was using tauntaun as a verb. I said, go tauntaun the hearth out of their website. Luke, I am your father. You join me on the dark side, Luke, and steal a credit card and order a lot of merchandise.
From where?
I'm just kidding.
VengeanceTurns.com.
Luke, if you're that easily influenced,
you might not be a Jedi.
DM me. Drop into my DMs.
This is definitely a part of our post show. If you want to support us on Patreon, you will be able to get exclusive content like this.
Yeah. Normally you only get criminalistics and crazy bullshit to the Patreon subscriber.
Patreon.com.
And he hates us. We know that for a fact.
Patreon.com/Cabin Fever Radio.
//now.
I don't think that's a thing.
It is. It makes a teepee. It goes like this. That was just...
No, it makes a V. Is it / then /?
So what is it? Here's the church. Here's the steeple. How's it go?
Here's a bunch of fingers.
Here's the church. Here's the steeple. Here's the people. It goes like that when you're a little kid, you know? I'm not as coordinated as when I'm a little kid.
I grew up in Mexico.
Then La Iglesia y las personas.
This is Spanish 101 brought to you by Bobby Smith. By the way, you can use Bobby as a promo code for 50% off. Where? VengeanceTurns.com. That is VengeanceTurns.com. VengeanceTurns.com. Why? Because this is the infomercial for VengeanceTurns.com. If you didn't know that VengeanceTurns.com has a website, now you know, because it is VengeanceTurns.com. You can get some awesome merch because they have a merch store. Where? At VengeanceTurns.com. You can get a t-shirt. Where? At VengeanceTurns.com, because VengeanceTurns.com is the website to go to where you want to get merch for VengeanceTurns.com. That's it. Done. Is that the outro?
When you wake up? Oh, sorry. I was like...
When you wake up and you know you're gonna be buying some merch at the Vengeance Turn store.
I was unhypnotizing myself. When I snap my fingers, I will wake up. I will snap out.
You snap, me snap, we all snap for the snap. Because again, this is Vengeance Turns. Go to Vengeance.
Hello, I am Sven Jolly. Welcome to Redneck Hypnosis Lessons with Sven Jolly. If you would like to hypnotize someone, please sit them down in front of your computer now as I proceed with my lesson and do the things, whatever I'm doing, upon their personage, okay?
And who are you?
My name is Sven Jolly, and this is Redneck Hypnosis Tips with Sven Jolly. So is your hypnotizable person sitting down near your computer? Have you given them the secret water?
This is turning into another Grimm's fairy tale. The Lost Grimm's fairy tale.
After your hypnosis person has drank down the secret water, wait approximately 15 minutes for their head to fall down against the table. At the time what you are hearing, the cracking of the skull against the table, your victim hypnotized person has now been hypnotized, and they are welcome to open your suggestion box, please.
Via email or text message or DM.
Hashtag Svenjolly.
Svenjolly will become a promo code soon for Vengeance Turns, but we still have to figure out how to spell it correctly.
Johnny, come here. Did you give mommy? She woke up, right? And she had a little bit of a headache and she wanted some water. Did you give her the special water, Johnny? Do you remember, Johnny? You downloaded the ingredients, right?
It was the one that started out with the chlor and last name X, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was an Irish name. The O-Form family? Mr. Chloroform?
No.
Clorox?
It was the X family.
Clorox. Your mommy likes bleach, Johnny. When she's asleep, you just pour it right in her mouth. All right? And then she has something for you that you're going to like. It's called a trust fund, Johnny. And
it's America.
Does your mommy have insurance? Does your mommy have insurance?
I wonder who's watching. I wonder who's going to survive this entire video.
Some kid out there watching Johnny now is like, I think they're talking to me. It's like, there's only 2 viewers. It must be me, unless we're both Johnny, in which case we should both be poisoning our mamas with Clorox. Getting the trust fund. Hey, Johnny. Johnny, talk to me in the text box. Is that you, Johnny?
On that note, we do want to thank you.
We're not poisoning.
We're not poisoning.
Us.
Wink, wink. Us. Wink, wink. Everyone else. Wink, wink. Wink, winking. Johnny. People who wink a lot don't poison the people who wink a lot.
No, that's a joke. So you can tell we're joking about all the poisoning. Well, there's a glare. I'll do like this. Can you see me winking? Yeah.
Barely.
That means I don't mean it.
Wink, wink, winkety, wink, winking.
And now I'm off the hook. Oh, also, I had my fingers crossed the whole time. So I have 2 things that I can produce in court now. That I was winking and fingers crossed. So everything I told Johnny to do to his mom, off the hook. It is. It's off the hook, y'all. What's up?
Yo.
Poison that bitch.
But again, we do want to thank you for everything that you've helped us accomplish throughout the several months of us trying to make sure that we film Vengeance Turns, because we are going to do it. Go to vengeanceturns.com. Buy a shirt. Simple. vengeanceturns.com. You see it right there. vengeanceturns.com. You see it on the screen. vengeanceturns.com.
No space.
Use the promo code Bobby to get 50% off everything. vengeanceturns.com. So on that note, again, I want to thank you guys. We have been Camp Fever Radio on behalf of Vengeance Turns. Thank you so much. This is Camp Fever Radio signing off for tonight. See you guys next week. Ba-da-dow.